Good morning. You know, when Father Paul asked me to talk about stewardship and formation a few weeks ago, he failed to mention that I would be sharing the spotlight with a gaggle of pets out there, so I've got my work cut out for me. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is John Olmstead. My wife Kelly and I and our two daughters joined St. Mark's 2 years ago. I began helping teach the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders about a year or so ago. I've got a real passion for kids and a passion for teaching, so I thought this would be a great way for me to get more involved in the church. And as Paul said, I'm here today to talk about formation, specifically the St. Mark's Christian education programs for our youth. There are several different Sunday school offerings that we offer at St. Mark's. There's the preschool and kindergarten class, the 1st and 2nd grade class, and the 3rd through 5th grade class. And they all meet most Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. Now the middle school and high school classes have to get up a bit earlier. They meet at 9 o'clock on most Sunday mornings, and that program is called the J2A, for Journey to Adulthood. The J2A is broken up into 3 parts. There's the Right 13, which is for grades 6 and 7, and that's taught by the wonderful Jim Keys. And then there's the J2A program, which teaches grades 8 and 9, and that's taught by the equally terrific Kathy Drobny. And then there's the YAC, or Youth for Adults in Church, and that's for the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. The entire J2A program is based on the premise that adulthood is not an entitlement, but rather something that needs to be earned by our kids. The classes address a myriad of teenage and tweener issues that young people will encounter through their journey to adulthood. Those issues are things like decision-making, compassion, stereotypes, relationships, positive self-esteem, healthy choices, and effective communication skills, all taught and discussed in the context of actual Bible passages. Now, Elizabeth Anstad was kind enough to provide some classroom numbers for me, which I wanted to share with you guys. In 2011-2012, St. Mark's had 49 youth involved in its Sunday school. The next year, 2012 through 2013, that number grew to 60. It's too early to tell for 2013-2014 what the count is going to be, but obviously we're hoping to exceed last year's number of 60. Another positive trend we are seeing is that it seems weekly attendance is improving, and that we are retaining more youth as they move up to the older grades, where typically participation tends to drop off. Now, as I mentioned before, I help teach the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders along with 3 wonderful ladies, Ann Body, Kathy Utgard, and Park Zimfer. The class averages roughly 8 to 10 kiddos every week, and we are currently learning about Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd." And I do have some personal observations about this class that I wanted to share with you guys, if you'll indulge me. You guys listening? These guys, the class I teach, they are a rambunctious lot. They are a curious lot, and they're an increasingly close-knit lot. They tend to judge us teachers not by our teaching prowess, but rather by the snacks that we bring. And I clearly need to step up my game as far as that goes. Cy Hess likes to be called Sea Dog. His brother Clay likes to be called Clay Dog. Sarah Body is always the first one in the classroom, always with a smile on her face. Curiously, my own daughter Lauren tends to be the last one in the classroom. Not sure how that goes. They're all very talented thespians. One of their favorite activities is to act out various right-wrong scenarios in our lesson plan. And my last observation, one I think my counterparts would echo as well, is that these kids teach me as much as I teach them. So I'll end with a quick story about our class, one that has strengthened my faith and is a terrific example of how God is at work and faith is flourishing in our church. Last winter, our class was asked to make placemats for some of the prisoners Junior Warden Kelly Kelleher visits periodically. Now, they were to draw pictures on the mats, decorate them, and also write their first name on the placemats. And the mats would be delivered by Kelly and some others within the parish, along with cookies that the parish baked, to the prisoners. As you can imagine, given the curious nature of our class, lots of questions. And the general theme of the questions were, why are we doing a good thing for people that have done wrong, for bad people? Park Zimper and I were teaching the class that day, and we tried to answer their questions as best we could, but we thought it would be appropriate to invite Kelly Kelleher into the class in the next couple of weeks and have him shed more light on the subject. So Kelly came in about a week or two later, and talk to the class, and as you can imagine, it was amazing. You could hear a pin drop in that class, which is nothing short of a miracle for that class. Kelly told a very poignant story about how one of the prisoners noticed that on his placemat was the first name of his own son, and how he had been thinking about his son that very day as it was his son's birthday. Kelly went on to tell the class that that prisoner viewed that placemat as a sign of God, and that from that day forward he would take God into his life. Now, there probably wasn't a dry eye in the classroom after Kelly finished the story, and one of the kids summarized the lesson learned as well as any adult could when she said, "Everyone needs God's love. Everyone needs God's love." And I think there's no better example than this story of how our formation at St. Mark's is feeding our souls and shaping who we are, shaping who our kids are. Amen.